So I decided yesterday, Saturday that is, to do Labor Day weekend only playing my Warhammer 2C2 and 2C4. And they're both very similarly built. Obviously, one of them has the 2C2 has 5 missile points and 2 laser points, and AMS as well. And then the other one has the 2C2-4 has oh god, what is it? Oh, it has 4 missile points and 4 lasers, as well as 1 AMS. And this is the 2C2, and this one's the only one I'm having that has the narc on board. I liked doing the 2C4 with narc, but I found that it was I had a lot of trouble with heat management running 3 LRM-20s. So I decided to go down this rabbit hole, and let me show you what I mean. So this is Rain and Thunder, and then this is Rain Man, and let me show you the difference. Ultimately, they look very similar. I've got 2 LRM-20s up here, 2 LRM-15s, and then I have my 2 laser points in the left arm, 1 in the head, and 1 in the right arm, and then AMS. And this is what it looks like. And this allowed me to put in an additional double heatsink in addition to the 5 that are in the torso. And that gives me 1.28 on cooling. And what I'm getting out of this mech, as far as quirks go, that I'm using, is range, plus 10, and then of course the base armors. I tried running ATM in this. I couldn't get it to really play the way I want. And of course, as a LRM ATM kind of guy, I'm never going to run a PVC. I just don't like them. But, you know, to each their own. And then when you go back to the 2C2, this one's loadout is 4 LRM-20s and narc. And the heat management's not as good as the 1.28, but 1.23, it keeps me in the green. And then I have a narc in between. And if you ever decide to purchase one of these mechs and you want to run missiles, whether you're running 4 LRM-15s or 2 LRM-20s and 2 LRM-15s or whatever you decide to do, if you're going to run a narc, make sure you put it between them. And the reason you want to do that is because it puts the narc right there, right where that X is. I actually purposely put an X on it so it was easier to point out to people. Otherwise, it's basically invisible. If you put the narc as the last weapon, it actually puts the narc way down here, and I think it's like right there. And I wanted to be able to point and shoot, and that's the real big benefit. And it's the same goes if you're running the 2C4. If you do the narc first and then the missile, it'll put the narc way up top. Or no, you do the missile and then the narc on this side, because you only have 4 missile points, and then you have the 2 over here. Whether you do it which way or whatever, I just prefer to do it on the right side, so that way whenever I do run narc, I don't have to think about it. I always know it's on the right side. And it ends up putting it up there as well. If you do the narc first and then the LRM, it actually puts the LRM down here, and then you get this big open thing here, and all it has is right in the middle. It has a it's not as big as this, but it has the narc there. It seems like kind of a waste of space, especially if you could have it up top. But I decided when I redid it and to just do it without the narc whatsoever. And I didn't even talk about this. So let's go into the quick set. Yeah, so I looked at this one, as I recall. Yeah, now let's look at the 2C2. loadout and go to the mech skills stats. And so this one, once again, it's got PPC. I'm never going to use that, but it doesn't have anything else. But what these both of these have in common is the skills. I don't even have to go back and forth; they're identical. So I've got full range, maxed out, and the nice thing about the 2C4 is with the additional 10% range that it has, it makes a difference, because this one fully maxed out and fully skilled out, it gives you 1035 as far as range, and the other one gives you 1125. Sorry about the yawning. Both have the velocity, the maximum missile features, survivability. Now, the only difference on the other one, the what I call Rain and Thunder, the 2C4, is this is maxed out on this, and I'm not worried about this because it actually has better heat management than this one does. So I took off 2 of these and put these for the here just in case. And I found that putting it into this here didn't do as much as being able to protect myself, my internals, from overheat damage. They both have a laser LRM'S. That whole section is just a waste for me. More survivability in the form of heat. I had to make some, because this one has narc, I had to take off 2 of the target decay features so I could have the narc feature. And then, of course, seismic, deprivation, and my usual 2 cool shots and 1 UAV. And that's what makes up these 2 mechs as far as their overall features. And what I really like about these mechs is, even though they're considered assaults, they've got a really narrow profile from the side. It's not like a lot of other assault mechs that are just. This has the same side profile as a Hellbringer does, which is a heavy mech, as you know. Now, from the front, it is quite a bit tanky, and it's about the same open area as a Zeus is from the front, except the Zeus is significantly shorter. I think the maximum height on a Zeus is right around the cockpit on this mech. It's like right there. It's definitely like middle of the 4 when you're looking at it from this point of view. So, hope you like. These are great mechs. They're a lot of fun to drive, and I get a lot of use out of them. And I typically end up, even in a bad match where we lose, I do at least a 400 damage. And the last few matches I've been putting up, I've been doing 600 and above. I even had 2 matches that were above 1,000. I had 1 match where I had 5 kills. I was pretty happy about that. And they're just great mechs. They work really well. Oh, the one thing I never did talk about is they're kind of quick. 64 kph on the 2C2. That's pretty good for an assault mech. But this one's like the race car. This one's 75.8. This is an assault doing 75.8. I don't even know if the Grand Dragon does that fast. But it's pretty quick. And when you look at like a Blood Asp, 64 kph. There's one thing I do have to say about clan mechs is they really get on point with the speed elements and stuff. And these are an Omni mechs, so you can change out the motor and go with the fastest one. And this is what I ended up going with because I wanted it to be agile enough to keep up, not get left behind. 48 kph. That's pathetic. That's why I can't drive an Annihilator. Not to mention it's also an innersphere mech, so I didn't want to feel like I was handicapped. Just kidding. Hope to see you on the battlefield.